All right, so this is Godot Valet. It is a project management slash release manager. We're looking at the project management page right now, which is just a really simple page, really. It kind of mimics the existing Godot project manager, which I'll show here really quick. The one big difference is that currently in the Godot project manager, you have to launch the 4x project manager to launch 4x projects, or you have to go find and then launch the 3x project manager to launch 3x projects. And since I have projects all over the place that I haven't upgraded in things, you're constantly diving into those to grab code or something like that. I thought it would be really useful if you could launch 3x projects and 4x projects from the same project manager. So that's a nice little feature add here in Godot Valet. I also added the ability to launch into the folders, which isn't here for some reason. So that's one little thing. Otherwise, it shares some of these same features over here, because I just actually in happenstance, when I was designing the release manager, I realized that I need all these similar same features that the project manager had. So I just went, hey, let's just go for it, see what I can mimic. And sure enough, a lot of this stuff was fairly straightforward to get launching. So you can come in here and you can launch the edit, and that'll go right into the editor for whether it's a 4x project or a 3x project. So we'll jump right in here. I'll close that, and then we can run projects from here. So I'll do that really quick. Launching the Synaptic application, which I'm toying around with new, and this obviously is Godot 4.x. And so that's kind of neat. And then adding new projects here is just as simple as like the import feature over here, which is you click where is it, new project, and then you can go select the project file, give it a name, and then tell it which version of Godot you're going to use. And to set up the different Godot versions, so if Godot 5 comes out or something like that, or even 4.5. whatever, 4.3 or something, you can just come in and add that version, and then you can be very specific about which version you want to launch any given project from. So there's a version manager. You can also change the color. Might as well say that here really quick. So if purple's not your thing, I'm getting sick of gray, so purple's nice. All right, so that's just the project management side of things. You can launch into Godot Project Manager here, a couple other basics, and then the big one is, we're going to use Synaptic for most of this because it's a small project, is the release manager. So I'm going to close this over here. And so it's quite busy, but once you get all the fields filled out, you basically don't have to touch it after that, except for perhaps the version. And so once it gets set up, we've got our basic project settings up here that come from the project page that we just came from. And we can choose, we can choose the different presets that we have. These are baked in right now. I do plan on adding a preset manager, if you will, so that you can add whatever presets and then they'll show up here in a list. So we have Windows, Linux, and web. And if you only want web, that's all you need. And then when you hit export, it's only going to produce the Windows packages, obviously. And then we'll do all three just for demo purposes, and tell it where you want it to export, and then tell it which version you want to export as. So this is kind of nice because I always forget which version I'm on. I have to go up to itch and look and see what I posted last, that kind of silly stuff. So this will just, because it saves your settings, next time you go to release, it's going to show you the previous one, and you can just increment. I'm going to keep working on that to improve this as well. So like you get reminders, hey, that was the last version. Are you sure you want to override it? Things like that. But right now, it's not going to give you any warnings, so you are going to have to remember the version. Export type. So you can use release or debug, as you would expect. And then package type, you can export your packages without zipping them. You can actually choose zip, which we're going to do for the demo. And that's actually going to it's going to export your files, like your Windows files, and then zip them up. It'll do the same for Linux, and for web, it'll actually export your files, rename that one HTML file that's the name of your project usually, rename it to index.html to satisfy the itch.io requirement, and then it'll package that up. So that's a really nice little feature add as well, time saver for sure. All right, and then the other option actually is not going to be released, and by the way, this is going to be an open source project. I'm sure it's going to be. And so when you're looking at this video on YouTube, we should have a link down below that's going to go to the open source project on GitHub. And by the way, if you're just happening onto this video from YouTube, all of this stuff is over on itch.io, where you can install it from there. Take a look at more information there. Most of you are probably coming from itch.io. So anyway, the installer. So this is like a new feature. I'm not going to go long into this, but I'm working on an actual Godot installer built on Godot, specifically for Godot, and then it'll handle auto updates. So you can sign up with something like Azure Cloud Storage, and it will actually go and detect, hey, do I have any updates? Yes. Okay, go and download them from my cloud storage. Do a checksum, which we're generating a checksum right here, so we can validate, yeah, this is the file I'm expecting, and it'll your application will say, hey, I detect an update, let me launch the installer, and then I'll close, and the installer will go download everything. It'll give the user a nice sort of download dialog, and then when it's done, it's going to unpack everything, do the checksum, and then relaunch your game/application. So that's going to be a nice little clean setup for Godot. And so that's coming. I'm working on that, and I'm just about done. But wow, how complex did that get? Anyway, so this will be hidden for at least a few weeks until I get all the installer stuff done. Next, we choose the export file name that we want. Basically, the file, what we want the zip file to be named when it's going up to itch.io. We tell it which project up on itch.io we're dealing with here. So like mine would be poplava/synaptic, and then my profile name. And by the way, this is all going to end up using Butler. And so in settings, pretty sure it's been so long since I touched that. Let me save this. Go into settings. So your Butler settings are already set with Butler, right? You've already have them saved locally, so I don't have to even see those. And then, oops, pushing the wrong buttons here. Sorry. Going to release. And we're not even there yet. Let's just do the export first, and then we'll get into the Butler stuff. Let's see. So we've got, right here's a quick preview of what we're going to export. We've got, I'm customizing the file name by kind of munging everything together here. We have the project name, the version that we're specifying, and then the released or the package type. And that's nice to have when you're putting them all in one place, or you're uploading to itch.io and you want to tell the differences pretty easily, or other people can tell the differences. So we'll just hit export here, utilizing the threads so we can see that we're packaging or exporting the Windows desktop stuff. It should flash through here. Now we're zipping up the Windows desktop, doing Linux. And as you can see, as this is exporting, if there's any output, I'm dumping that into a tab and then showing the tabs down here. If there are any errors or warnings, I'm going to show those down here. It's total overall, so if you have any errors across any of these or warnings, it'll just total them up. So I can come down here and take a quick look, and let's maximize this a little bit. So just some new 4.0 fun warnings that we're having to deal with, so no big deal. I should be good to go. Here's the Linux and the web output. And so let's take a quick look at that output, which I wasn't prepared to show, but let me see if I can grab it here. It's going to take me a second. Navigating to the Synaptic folder, to the exports folder. There we go. What did I put it up there as? Oh, I exported it to the wrong place. I exported it up to Godot Valet by mistake, so that's fine. I can just go find it there. There we go. So I'll fix that. But anyway, so I exported to the v0.9 folder, and we can see here we have applications, Godot Valet exports, and then my version, and then, oh, I made a mess of it. We're going to do it over. Sorry. Let's fix this. So we're not going to the wrong one. Don't look at all my mess. Now you're looking. No, I'm not ready. So much stuff. Okay. Scenes. Exports. Where's my export? I have an export folder here. Come on. Wrong place. There we go. Okay, so that's the root of my export folder, and I think we're on 6, so we'll go to 7. We'll do this export again. There it goes. Sorry about that. And let's see. Anything I can talk about while this is going? So, plan is to keep chipping away at this. Going to look for some feedback and input and people that have specific needs, because I assume there will be some. And so I'll be looking for those for the next few weeks. And then also, since it's open source, people can just contribute directly if they want to do a PR. Okay, so let's just launch the open folder right here, which is nice and convenient. And there we go. So we're in Synaptic, exports v7. And if we open up Windows, we've got our Windows file all nice and zipped up. Go up to Linux. There we go. And HTML5, and there's the zip, and you can see that the file is renamed for us. All right, so that's just the export alone part of it is saving us a ton of time, but also it's saving us from making mistakes. All those little typo mistakes, getting the versioning folders figured out, all of that stuff, just huge time saver, at least for me. So the next big thing is I got Butler integrated so that we can just click a button. We're like, yep, no errors, no warnings. I'm pretty sure that I can publish this right now. Let me check. Can't remember what projects I have up on it. I'm navigating over on my other page here. Let's look. Do I have a Synapses? I do not have a Synapses. I only have a Godot. I wonder what happens if I just hit publish here. I'm gonna do it. Invalid game. So this is a good feature here that you're looking at. We're showing up the tab for Butler. Oh, I have to hit yes here. And what happened was I don't have a project called Synaptic up on itch.io, so we get some build error output here, and we show that. So how patient are you if I create a new project and do this? Upload new project. Can I create it? Yeah. All right, Syn app. This one's so early access that I haven't even created a page for it yet. There we go. Blah, 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 blah. It's an app. Sorry, I'm only going to take a quick second to do this. I don't need anything up here. It's in draft. I'll just save it. And I should be good to go. Just to show this really quick. So I just created this project called Synaptic. It's got nothing on it. Let's hit publish again, see what happens. That's better, right? Taking a little bit more time. Okay, so I gotta fix that. It's prompting like every time it produces a Butler build, but I'll fix that. So here, exit code 0. So 0 is always good. Pushed up 63 megabytes, and it should be up in a bit. If I go up to Synaptic here, let's see, edit game, and scroll down, and there we go. I got my Windows zip file up there, my Linux zip, and my HTML zip. So that's pretty good. So here's the cool thing though. If I make a change in Synaptic, let me close this out, kind of show that workflow. I have Synaptic open already, so I don't have to edit. I was going to show that really quick, but if I come in here, camera, script, and just put a space. Now normally that's going to end up taking me like if you're doing a game jam or something and you go, oh, I forgot the debug command is still enabled. I got to fix that. I only got 5 minutes left before the game jam's done. Let's do a comment. Normally you're like, oh, that's a nightmare. I have to do Linux, I have to do the web, and I have to publish it all. But where'd I go? Oh, and you notice the little hat icon. That's my little Valet icon to help you tell the difference between all your other Godot icons. And this is actually neat that I was able to remove a lot of my other Godot icons because I don't need them anymore since I have all of everything being managed in one project manager. So that's kind of nice. I can tell the difference between my project manager and my projects now. So anyway, we go back into Synaptic here, go into release, and just remember to change the date, or the version, not the date, the version. And there we go, and got to export it again. Don't forget to do that. Probably could have just did Windows to speed things up, but we'll go through all three. I mean, this is what it would be like for a game jam, right? A few seconds. And the reason it takes so long is actually it's launching Godot every time it launches one of these export processes. So, and then we hit publish. And now we should see the Butler delta and this little bug that I got to fix. And so there we go, reused, 99%. And so that was nice and simple. I made a one-line change, was able to hit 2 buttons, done. I can walk away, get coffee, whatever. And so that is Godot Valet. Again, you can find me on itch.io under Pop Lava or Godot Valet. And you'll see other projects up there like Godot Companion, and Kakani, which is a task management system. So doing a lot of work on a bunch of different applications, play around with them. You can hop on my Discord. I have a Pop Lava Discord where I'm managing all these different projects, and you can give feedback and all that kind of stuff there, feature requests. Definitely looking for a lot of feedback and input on this one to improve it, to make it more dynamic and general purpose for everybody. So that's it. Thanks. Bye. Where's my off button?